Good evening. It is April 10th, and tonight we are finishing up Deuteronomy. Yes, and we're starting in Joshua. So we are going to be reading Deuteronomy 34 1 and into Joshua 2:24, Luke 13:22 through 14:6, Psalms 79 1 through 13, and Proverbs 12:26. If you will join in with me, we like to say the Lord's Prayer before we get started. So let's get started. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory forever and ever. Amen. Deuteronomy 34 1 through Joshua 2:24. So Moses is about to pass away. He's kind of given the rest of the laws to his people, and Moses can see the promised land, but God said he will never enter. So that's kind of where we've left off, and let's get started. Deuteronomy 34 1 through Joshua 2:24. Moses climbed from the plains of Moab to Mount Nebo, the peak of Pisgah, facing Jericho. God showed him all the land from Galilee to Dan, all Naphtali, Ephraim, and Manasseh, all Judah reaching to the Mediterranean Sea, and Negev to the plains where encircle Jericho, city of palms, and as far south as Zor. Then and there God said to him, "This is the land I promised to your ancestors, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, with the words I give with the words I will give it to your descendants. I've led you to see it with your own eyes. There it is. But you're not going to go in." Kind of disheartening for Moses, isn't it? Moses died there in the land of Moab. Moses, the servant of God, just as God said, God buried him in the valley in the land of Moab opposite Beth Peor. No one knows his burial site to this very day. Moses was 120 years old when he died. His eyesight was sharp. He still walked with a spring in his step. The people of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab for 30 days. Then the days of weeping and mourning for Moses came to an end. Joshua, son of Nun, was filled with the spirit of wisdom because Moses had laid his hands on him. The people of Israel, listening obediently to him, and did the same as when God had commanded Moses. No prophet had risen since in Israel like Moses, whom God knew face to face. Never has there been anything like the signs and miracle wonders that God sent him to do in Egypt, to Pharaoh, to all his servants, and all his land. Nothing to compare with all that powerful hand of his, and all the great and terrible things Moses did. Great and terrible things. Okay. Moses did as every eye in Israel watched. After the death of Moses, the servant of God, God spoke to Joshua, Moses' assistant. "Moses, my servant, is dead. Get going. Cross the Jordan River. You and all the people cross to the country I'm giving to the people of Israel. I'm giving you every square inch of the land you set your foot on, just as I promised Moses, from the wilderness and this Lebanon east to the great river, the Euphrates River, all the Hittite country, and then west to the great sea. It's all yours, all your life. No one will be able to hold out against you. In the same way I was with Moses, I will be with you. I won't give up on you. I won't leave you. Strength, courage. You are going to lead this people to inherit the land that I promised to give their ancestors. Give it everything you have, heart and soul." Hang on, I got to turn my phone off. "Make sure you carry out the revelation that Moses commanded you, every bit of it. Don't get off track, either left or right, so as you make sure you get to where you're going, and do not for a minute let this book of the revelation be out of your mind. Ponder and meditate on it day and night, making sure you practice everything written in it. Then you'll get where you're going. Then you'll succeed. Haven't I commanded you? Strength, courage. Don't be timid. Don't be discouraged. God, your God, is with you every step you take." Then Joshua gave orders to the people's leaders. "Go through the camp and give this order to the people. Pack your bags. In 3 days you will cross the Jordan River and take the land God, your God, is giving you to possess." Then Joshua addressed the Reubenites, the Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh. and the half tribe of Manasseh. He said, "Remember what Moses the servant of God commanded you. God your God will give you rest, and he gives you this land. Your wives, your children, and your livestock can stay here east of the Jordan. The country Moses gave you, but you, tough soldiers all, must cross the river in battle formation, leading your brothers, helping them until God, your God, gives your brothers a place of rest, just as he has done for you. They also will take possessions of the land your God is giving them. Then you will be free to return to your possessions given to you by Moses, the servant of God, across the Jordan to the east." They answered Joshua, "Everything you commanded us will do. Wherever you send us, we'll go. We'll obey Moses to the letter. We'll also obey you. We just pray that God your God will be with you as he was with Moses. Anyone who questions what you say and refuses to obey whatever they command him will be put to death. Strength and courage." Joshua son of Nun secretly sent out from the Shittim 2 men as spies. "Go look over the land, check out Jericho." They left and arrived in the house of a harlot named Rahab, and stayed there. The king of Jericho was told, "We've just learned that the men arrived tonight to spy out the land. They're from the people of Israel." The king of Jericho sent word to Rahab, "Bring out the men who came to you to stay the night in your house, these spies. They've come to spy on our whole country." The woman had taken the 2 men and hidden them. She said, "Yes, 2 men did come to me, but I didn't know where they came from. At dark, when the gate was about to shut, the men left, but I have no idea where they went. Hurry up, chase them. You can still catch them." She actually taken them up to the roof and hidden them under the stalks of flax, where they were spread out on her roof. So the men gave chase down the Jordan road toward the fords. As soon as they were gone, the gate was shut. Both before the spies were down for the night, the woman came up to them on the roof and said, "I know that God has given you the land. We're all afraid. Everyone in the country feels hopeless. We've heard how God dried up the waters in the Red Sea before you when you left Egypt, and what he did to the 2 Amorite kings east of the Jordan, Shihon and Og, whom you were put under a holy curse and destroyed. We heard it, and our hearts sank, with all the wind knocked out of us, and all because of you, you and your God of the heavens and above, and the God of the earth below. Now promise me by God, I showed you mercy. Now show my family mercy, and give me some tangible proof, a guarantee of life for my father and mother, my brothers and sisters, everyone connected with me, with my family. Save our souls from death, our lives for yours," said the men. "But don't tell anyone our business. When God turns this land over to us, we'll do you right by you in loyal mercy." She lowered them down out a window with a rope because her house was on the city wall to the outside. She told them, "Run for the hills so your pursuers won't find you. Hide out for 3 days and give your pursuers time to return. Then get on your way." The men told her, "In order to keep the oath you made us swear, here is what you must do. Hang this red rope out your window through which you let us down to gather your entire family with you in your house, father, mother, brothers, and sisters. Anyone who goes out the doors of your house into the street and is killed it's his own fault. We aren't responsible, but for everyone within the house, we will take full responsibility. If anyone lays a hand on any one of them, it's our fault. But if you tell anyone of our business here, the oath you made us swear is canceled. We're no longer responsible." She said, "If that's what you say, that's the way it is." They sent them off. They left, and she hung the red rope out the window. They headed for the hills and stayed for 3 days until the pursuers had returned. The pursuers had looked high and low but found nothing. The men headed back. They came down out of the hills, crossed the river, and returned to Joshua, son of Nun, and reported all their experiences. They told Joshua, "Yes, God has given us the whole country to us. Everyone there is in a state of panic because of us." I get the story of prior to this, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. I understand the background of it, but it was a lot of redundancy. And in my personal opinion, this is where the Bible gets really interesting. And I know we were learning about the 12 tribes, and it was a lot. So if you hung out with me that long, this is where the Bible gets really, really good. And I enjoy it. I mean, it's got a lot of good stories in it, but I'm glad you're hanging out. Anyways, so the breakdown of Deuteronomy 34 1 through Joshua 2 24 says Moses finishes strong. He sees the promised land but doesn't enter. It's a reminder that obedience matters, but God's plan is bigger than one man. Leadership passes to Joshua, and he steps up boldly. Then Rehab, an unlikely outsider, shows faith and is brought into God's story. The takeaway: finish your assignment well, but don't cling to control. God raises new leaders, and faith, not background, qualifies people. Luke 13:22 through 14:6. He, Jesus, went on teaching from town and village to town, by but keeping on a steady course towards Jerusalem. A bystander said, Master, will only a few be saved? He said, Whether few or many is none of your business. Put your mind on your life with God, the way to life to God. The way to life to God. That doesn't sound right. Is vigorous and requires your total attention. The way to life to God is vigorous and requires your total attention. A lot of you are going to assume that you'll sit down to God's salvation banquet just because you've been hanging around the neighborhood all your lives. Well, one day you're going to be banging on the door waiting to get in, and you'll find out the door is locked and the master saying, Sorry, you're not on my guest list. You'll protest, but we've known you all our lives, only to be interrupted with his abrupt, Your kind of knowing can hardly be called knowing. You don't know the first thing about me. That's when you'll find yourselves out in the cold, strangers to grace. You'll watch Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and all the prophets march into God's kingdom. You'll watch outsiders stream in from the east, west, north, and south, and sit down at the table of the kingdom of God. And all the time, you'll be on the outside looking in and wondering what happened. This is the great reversal. The last in the line put at the head of the line, and so-called first ending up last. Just then, Pharisees came up and said, Run for your life. Herod's got your number. He's out to kill you. Jesus said, Tell that fox that I've no time for him right now. Today and tomorrow, I'm busy clearing out the demons and healing the sick. The third day, I'm wrapping things up. Besides, it's not proper for a prophet to come to bad end outside Jerusalem. It's not proper for a prophet to come to a bad end outside Jerusalem. Didn't sound right the first time I said it. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, killer of prophets, abuser of the messenger of God, how often I've longed to gather your children. Gather your children like a hen, her brood safe under her wings, but you refused and turned away, and now it's too late. You won't see me again until the day you say, Blessed is he who comes in the name of God. One time when Jesus went for a Sabbath meal with one of the top leaders of the Pharisees, all the guests had their eyes on him, watching his every move. Right before him, there was a man hugely swollen in his joints. So Jesus asked the religious scholars and the Pharisees present, Is it permitted to heal on the Sabbath? Yes or no? They were silent. So he took the man, healed him, and sent him on his way. Then he said, Is there anyone here who, if a child or animal fell down a well, wouldn't rush to pull him out immediately, not asking whether or not it's the Sabbath? They were stumped. There was nothing they could do or say to that. Luke 13:22, 14:6, the breakdown says, Jesus keeps it real. The door is narrow. Casual belief won't cut it. That's urgency. Then he calls out religious pride by healing on the Sabbath, showing that people matter more than rules. The takeaway: don't play church, live surrendered, and never let rules replace compassion. So the thing that hit me was Jesus keeps it real. The door is narrow. It's about being lukewarm. You said you're on one side of the fence or the other. You can't straddle the fence. Either you're all in, or you're not. Um, that's deep. Psalm 79, 1 through 13. God, barbarians have broken into your home, violated your holy temple, left Jerusalem a pile of rubble. They've served up the corpse of your servants, a carry-on food for birds of prey. threw the bones of your holy people out to the wild animals to gnaw on. They dumped out their blood like buckets of water. All around Jerusalem their bodies were left to rot, unburied, were nothing but a joke to you, to your neighbors. Graffiti scrawled on the city walls. How long do we have to put up with this, God? Do you have it in for us for good? Will your smoldering rage never cool down? If you're going to be angry with your pagans who care nothing about you, or your rival kingdoms who ignore you. They're the ones who ruined Jacob, who wrecked and looted the place where he lived. Don't blame us for the sins of our parents. Hurry up and help us. We're at the end of our rope. We're famous for helping. God, give us a break. Your reputation is on the line. Pull us out of this mess. Forgive us our sins. Do what you're famous for doing. Don't let the heathen get by with their sneers. Excuse me. Where's your God? Is he out to lunch? Go public and show the godless world that they can't kill your servants and get by with it. Give groaning prisoners a hearing pardon. Those on death row from their doom, you can do it. Give your jeering neighbors what they're got coming to them. Let their God taunt let their God taunts boomerang and knock them flat. Then we, your people, the ones who love and care for you, will thank you over and over and over. We'll tell everyone we meet how wonderful you are and how praiseworthy you are. The breakdown of Psalms 79, 1 through 13 says, This is raw. Israel is wrecked and crying out. They're asking God for mercy, not because they deserve it, but because of his name. When life hits hard, go to God honestly. Mercy isn't earned, it's received. Proverbs 12:26. A good person survives misfortune, but a wicked life invites disaster. Break down the righteous choose their friends carefully. Take away who you run with will either sharpen you or wreck you. No neutral ground. So, those of you that don't know, I think I've talked about this a couple times. I'm in a Bible study on Saturdays morning called Better Man. And it is literally men sharpening men. There's all ages. I think the oldest person is in their late 60s. There might be somebody in their 70s, but they're just not going to admit it. And then we have some young guys who are in their 19, 20-year-old. And I have a few of I'm one of the table leaders, and they're a couple of the young kids are sitting at my table, and I think I've made an impact by giving them some insights on some of the mistakes that I've made and relationships I've had in the past and relationships with my children on how I could have done things or been better at it. And hopefully they're taking notes because iron does sharpen iron and men need to sharpen men. Men need to make each other stronger and not break each other down. So looking forward to that. That's tomorrow morning. I think we have like 5 or 6 more weeks left of that. And it's 11 or 12 weeks, and it's been great. So if no one told you today, I love you. And I hope you have a better than good evening. And tomorrow will be April 11th. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.